Time now for an in-depth look at the market news on this Friday, and for that I'm joined on the line by Mr. Daniel Yu, global strategist at Yuanta Securities. Mr. Yu, thank you for making time today.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, Donald Trump has been impeached in the markets. This has been expected, but it's also understood that he won't be removed from office because the Republicans control the Senate. Wall Street strongly higher on Thursday, as we just heard. What's the story there?
Yes, as you said, the equity market seems to continue to show rising trend despite the impeachment process. Most of the investors are expecting that the Republican-controlled Senate to acquit President Trump following the Wednesday's vote by the House Democrats to impeach him. If you look at the stock prices, it went up by more than 5% since the House of Representatives first voted October 31st to conduct impeachment proceedings against the president because investors did not fear he would be removed from the office. Clearly, that trend seems to be continuing. In fact, the U.S. market rose yesterday. Dow was up 0.49%, S&P was up 0.45%, and Nasdaq was up 0.67%. The reason for that is because this impeachment process actually brought in some of the positive implications to the fiscal and monetary policies, as well as the developments like China trade deal on the first stage, and also support from the new NAFTA. All in all, we think that the market will be moving on the basis of what's happening to the economic conditions. We think that the U.S. might show some recovery going into the next year.
Right. Well, an emerging factor in Korean stocks is whether or not North Korea decides to launch a missile, as people believe it might do towards the end of the year. What's happening in the Korean markets today, and what's your outlook?
Right. Yes, everybody is concerned about what's happening to the North Korea issues. As the Pyongyang appears to be preparing to launch a long-range missiles, experts see an end to a diplomatic process Washington has pursued to deneutralize North Korea so far. Some people are expecting that this will come sometime in Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but no matter what, it might be coming through. Now, that should have caused some concern about the equity market, but I must say that Korean equity market have shown rising trend again. It is actually closed well above 2,200, the Kospi level. The reason for that is because everybody knows that this concern is continuing process. And if you look at the Korean equity market, it has been one of the biggest underperformer relative to other global markets. So if you think that this concern about the North Korea issues will cause some additional risk premium, I think that is probably not likely the case. Already Korea is trading at one of the lowest valuations. It is attaching quite a bit of a highest risk premium relative to any other countries. So yes, this is a concern, but North Korea issue has always been there. Therefore, we don't think that there will have any massive implication to the equity market.
Very interesting. Well, according to the Bank of Korea, consumer prices were down in November compared to a year ago. This is the 5th month in a row they've been down on year. But because the decline was smaller last month, this could be a sign of a turnaround. So in terms of prices, what are some key items to look at? And do you think inflation is going to go up, continue going up like this?
Yes, as you said, the Producers Price Index, PPI, declined by another 0.1% in November from a month earlier, and keeping this downward trend for the second consecutive month, according to the Bank of Korea. This came amid continued downturn of the global chip industry that led to the lower semiconductor prices. And prices for computers, electronics, and optical devices all declined by 1% in November, month on month. And this is third straight month of decline. As for the chemical product prices, it dipped 0.5% in the month, and also the price for the coal and oil prices, but the price of the coal and oil prices advanced by 0.6%. Also, the fishery and livestock prices also went up. Overall, we think that the demand for chip price might be recovering going into next year. That should have some positive implication for the PPI number. And most likely the inflation number should be fairly reasonably at current level. We don't think that it's going to pick up anytime soon that much, nor it's going to go down even further. At least stabilization is positive news. We think that demand for chip is the most important factor for next year.
Got it. All right, Mr. Yu, that's where we'll wrap it up on this Friday. Thanks so much for sharing your insights.
Thank you very much.